Hi, I'm Danny, a student intern at SportsTech Global, and today I'm joined by Kashif Siddiqi, an ex-professional footballer and co-founder of charitable organisation Football for Peace. Thanks for joining me today, Kashif.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Cheers for your time. So my first question for you today is, as only one of 11 South Asians to play professional football in the UK, what do you believe is the main barrier to South Asian participation?
I think obviously I've been one of the fortunate to have played here in the UK, but then obviously I've had a lot of injury setbacks, etc. And I think that's obviously motivated me to do so much more. And I'm still just literally, retiring now and trying to hang up the boots with the current injury I'm facing with the Achilles tendon rupture. But I guess for me, one of the most important things is parental engagement. And I often say it to the PFA and people that I just think that there needs to be so much more engagement from a cultural perspective on football can be a career, but unfortunately because it's become a vicious cycle where you don't see so many footballers making it, and there's no realistic role models either. So I think with parental engagement, role models, and education, I think it's just become this cycle where parents don't necessarily see the benefits of going into professional sport because you don't actually see a real path. And I think that's something that I've always been trying to advocate for, that it's not about, the £1 million contract in the Premier League. You could still earn a decent living in the lower leagues, but I think those barriers need to be broken down. And I think there's a lot of positive work from different organisations in that space now. But I still think we've got a way to go to get to the next stage.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Thanks. I guess having role models like yourself is important to further South Asian players down the line, just to see that as a possible
from your perspective, career. Looking from the outside, what do you feel like? What do you think that the issues are?
I kind of agree with you. I mean, there's just not much of a visible presence of Asian footballers in professional football. So I can, I'm not South Asian myself, so I couldn't really speak to the challenges that a footballer would face, but I could see how that would be a potential issue.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, for me, obviously, despite the setbacks and everything, and being one of the few, I feel like I have a responsibility to contribute both on and off the field. So obviously my last role with Oxford as both a player and an ambassador, and looking at kind of playing number 10 between the club and the community. And I think that's really, really important. And from there on now, obviously getting an opportunity to play in Kashmir and bringing my multi-ethnic background, from obviously father being from India, mother from Uganda, and having Pakistan heritage, and trying to draw the world's attention to that region. But again, I think, for example, football's growing in South Asia massively, but again, it's a generation shift of that taking place.
Yeah, definitely. So my second question for you is: you co-founded the charitable organisation Football for Peace in 2013. What are the organisation's key aims?
So, Football for Peace was established in Chile in 2006 by FIFA legend Elias Figueroa. He played with Pele, Maradona, etc., and he officially announced it at the United Nations with Kofi Annan. So Elias and I connected as footballers from two different faiths, cultures, continents, with the view to try and empower the youth to rise against the most pressing issues, both we face locally and globally, facing the planet and also serving the needs of others. So that was kind of the background and the passion behind it. We felt that we were living in a time that's so connected, but ironically so divided. It was, and it still is, unbalanced with poverty, inequality, climate, environmental issues, facing the planet. And I feel that football, touches 3.5 billion people. And we always were passionate about how do we really unlock that real power of football to support these issues. So today with Football for Peace, we have three main pillars in doing so, and it's peace for people, peace for the mind, and peace for the planet. And currently where we are, we sit between trying to work between the United Nations and FIFA. And there are many organizations doing amazing work in, training young people, etc. But I think what Football for Peace do uniquely is combine diplomacy, life skills, and doing good in the community. And that's really what we're trying to tap into.
Thank you. Yeah, those are three really important issues, and I think football's a great vehicle to kind of solve and alleviate those. So my final question is, what has been your proudest moment during your involvement with Football for Peace and as a professional footballer?
I think one of the proudest moments for me was probably, and on a football perspective, was playing in the Beijing 2008 Olympic qualifiers against Qatar, and having my mum there watching me. You know, she's been kind of the driving force for me as a single mother, and instill the values that I have today, both on and off the field. From a football for peace perspective, I think there's been so many of those amazing kind of pinch myself moments, but I think it's just an ongoing kind of, you know, the inspiration, I guess, of mum. And I quite often take mum everywhere. And again, last year, I was really fortunate to speak at the United Nations and taking my mum there with me. Again, that was a really proud moment. Introducing her to Prince William was another proud moment. And then Pope Francis and him coming on board. But I think, you know, my mother coming from Africa and the struggles that she's faced as a refugee for fighting for equality, I think that's something that she's embedded in me. And my faith in God has really kind of let me to dream big. And I always say that without dreaming, you're not going to get anywhere. And I think you have to have small wins, and those small wins eventually turn into big wins. And all these people that are supporting me on my journey today, I feel like as a footballer, if you want to move the ball fast up the pitch, you need to have the best players on your team. And today I feel that that was my mission in trying to get the best players from around the world. So you've got the likes of Prince William or Pope Francis, and today Dani Alves and Mesut Ozil. And I think if we can get these kind of people to deliver the message, what we're trying to deliver, our message is going to move a lot quicker around the world.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it sounds like you've had a pretty crazy career professionally and with your charity work. So shows a lot of highlights. But yeah, thank you very much.
And the setbacks.
Yeah, I bet. Well, yeah, thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, Danny. Appreciate it, and hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, definitely. All right, see you.
Cool. Cheers.